So hello, my name is Kristen, and I'm from Futuclass. We're developing educational virtual reality games. So I will raise my hand for the next slide. A little bit about my background or my Futu journey. I held my first VR headset in my hands in 2016, and in 2017 we made the first virtual reality arcade in Tartu, and it was called Futurum. Some of you know it, I hope. The second one we made in 2018 and in Tallinn. And you see OG Madis Wasser here on this picture as well, because we made those or established the Futurum brand together with Madis Wasser. We did a lot of experimental project in 2018 and had some VR pop-ups. This one on the bottom right is from Mango Töö, for example, and it was pretty epic at that time because it was streamed live and it was Skyfront event. So we had 8 HTC Vives for multiplayer game experience going live and streamed onto the big screen and online as well. And in 2018, we had the first prototype of Futuclass, which you can see on the bottom left. Next slide, please. And in 2019, we did a lot of experimental projects and had this agency called Futuclass. So you can play this on the up right. This is one example. I don't know if it works, but what you heard was you don't have to. It can stay like that. So this is Setomaa VR project. So this is just one of those things we did, and I think they went to Japan to show what Setomaa is, and talk a bit about Estonia and Setomaa. But how Futuclass got started or what was the first kickoff was that we won the third place in Prototron and went to Ixedu Accelerator to which was in Finland, and then got a lot of knowledge how to develop edtech products, and yeah, and also in 2019 we had this thing opened called Futupub, which I think the last EEVR meetup was held there. So, but in 2020 I'm full on Futuclass mode, and we closed Futurums during the COVID first spread in the beginning of 2020. Yeah. So how did we get to Futuclass? We had, at that time, we had over 30,000 hours of playtime in Futurums, and a lot of those customers were children aged 10 to 15, and we saw that children like to experiment and see what happens. I bet most of you know the game Job Simulator, and it was the most popular game in Futurum arcades. So when children started playing, first things they did was they poured coffee into the printer, they tried to put their fingers into electric sockets and see what happens. So it was one of those two. They either wanted to experiment to see what happens, or they wanted to do things that were forbidden by their parents. And what was the fun part is that they enjoyed every second when they did that. So this is where we thought, how is this possible that VR is not widely used in education? And yeah, because it makes a lot of sense to use VR in education. Most of the science classes are theoretical and boring. There's pretty low engagement rate in science classes, and I think chemistry is the least favorite subject in upper middle school. It's really hard to visualize 3D world on 2D paper, and because of high cost of the resources and some experiments are dangerous, that are just not done in schools. But where it leads to frustration, bad grades, wasted time, and wasted potential. A lot of hours is put in by parents and children, and both of them don't know what they're doing because they don't have the skills, and a lot of time is wasted. So we thought that we're the VR guys. We have the VR hammer and we know about VR. We should. So you got your microphone working, but I will continue. So we had we are the VR guys. So we had our VR hammer, and we thought let's use that. In VR, you can learn by doing and carry out those experiments. So it makes a lot of sense to learn in VR. You can understand spatial. You can understand concepts better spatially. Children can move at their own pace when they're doing experiment because it's gamified and you have no time limit. Because in VR you can feel, you can hear and see. It's a multisensory experience, so you memorize those moments a lot better. Thus, the memories are formed better, and you remember things afterwards. You can visualize invisible. And what we have found in Futuclass is that the full concentration and 360-degree immersion is something that is really important, because for upper middle school students, they lose their attention very easily. So when they're in the VR world, they concentrate on one thing, and even the problem kids do really well at concentrating on one topic for a longer period. And lastly, VR is safe. This is one thing when we have talked about people overseas, they see as one of the best things about VR is that it's really safe, that you can do stuff that and carry out experiments that would be very dangerous in real life. Use acid and burn stuff, have bombs there and whatever. Next one, please. So this is what we have made. You can show it to people. So this is we call them modules, like every mini game designed to teach different days, different levels, and you have to balance chemical equations. And this one is escape room module, and here you have to use your knowledge from the reaction balancing module and other knowledge as well, and get out of the room. So we have worked on this project on Futuclass for like 2 years already, and what are the things we think we have mastered or at least know a lot about is that we have developed standardized roadmap or a cycle, and every module has to go through that cycle, and they can't those modules can't progress to the next step when they haven't reached the goal of the previous one. So we do a lot of iterations, and it seems that this framework is working well. We do a lot of co-creation with partner schools, and we try to build study modules that have a master-based approach, meaning you have to learn the part to be able to progress to the next one. So when you actually finish the study module, you have learned the topic. Yeah. So we're focusing on standalone headsets, but try to be available on as many platforms as we can, including tethered platforms. We all know the issues with Facebook and Oculus, so you have to have the account, and there's the privacy issues and whatnot. So we see that it takes a bit of time to be available on the official store for Oculus, but all the modules are optimized to be run on Oculus Quests. The target market geographically, we're aiming to have Futuclass available first for English-speaking countries, and we can localize afterwards. But the English-speaking countries makes a lot of sense because they have the most traction for VR games anyways. And first of all, we're building Futuclass to be used in schools, but since the New World Order, I think the statistics is that like 89% of families have had to switch to either homeschooling temporarily or to carry out all the teaching at home. At the beginning of this year, we shifted the focus a bit, although we were testing in co-creation partner schools and building the product for school environment. At that point, our main focus now is on homeschooling. So when I don't have that slide here, but we carried out the research and mapped out the most complex topics for children, and it made a lot of sense when we're building the product for schools, because in the research, teachers gave points to the most complex topics. So we kind of wanted to cover the topics that are most complex to teach in school environment. But for homeschooling, it makes a lot of sense to have this everything in VR experience. And there are a lot of little things also which differentiate if you're aiming either schools or homeschoolers, but the content itself is the same. Physics is the same, the chemistry is the same, so it's really easy for us to go either way. Yeah, so a bit about the numbers. We have carried out around 300 plus test sessions in co-creation schools or with office test sessions. And our best impact result with this reaction balancing module was that average students performed 165% better in reaction balancing tests after playing Futuclass for 30 minutes. So recalling the times when I studied chemistry, I was struggling with it for like years. So we're really proud of that number. And we have developed 9 VR study modules. There are like 3 sorts of those study modules. Some of those are level progression based, some of those are escape rooms, and some of those are like experiments. But we cover 9 topics, and 8 of those are in chemistry, mainly for 8th grade. These are the schools with whom we have carried out those test sessions, and from some of those schools, we have partner teachers who help to design those educational part of the modules. Yeah. Ooh. So this is how those co-creation sessions look. They're both in Põltsamaa, because we started co-creation in Põltsamaa Ühisgümnaasium more than a year ago. And they were the first school with whom we partnered. And we try to, with all those sessions, we have before test and after test. So we know what impact Futuclass study module and the time spent had. But depending on what version of the module we're testing, sometimes we record the screens and look more in depth in the analytics as well to make changes in the gameplay or design the educational part of that specific module. But when times changed, we had to adapt, and it was right when we took part in the project of official co-creation project run by HITSA, which is now Harno, and Tallinna Ülikool and Startup Estonia. It was lockdown, so we had to carry out those co-creation sessions through web, which was really interesting. We thought that it's a bummer, and we most probably won't have any co-creation sessions because of the lockdown, but we were able to send the headsets to students' homes, and so here you can see they're all studying chemistry. On the upper left, there's educational technologists of Kuristiku School, and in the center there's the teacher, chemistry teacher, and I'm just sitting there like looking if there are any technical errors, but like 95% of the times it was super smooth. They had everything ready, and they went through the module and had the reflection part online afterwards with the teacher. This is what they wrote. We have a lot more quotes, but here are just some of them. This is our team. We have one chemistry teacher who's working who's in our team as a consultant, actively designing those modules. A lot more teachers are consultants, but they're not giving input weekly or that often. But other than that, we have 8 members in our team, so we can produce a lot. Yeah. I just wanted to show you what we did right before Christmas. It's a house called White Elephant, and it's in Otepää. It's 2 kilometers from Otepää, so we thought that So Rein, all those projects take more time than you think at first. So we thought that, okay, we're going to crunch a bit to boost and be able to do those produce modules faster. So we went to a house, rented a house near Otepää, and basically made 2 study modules in 4 days. They're like version 0.2 or 3s, but we were super productive. So I suggest you to do those workations as well, to have a nice time and do a lot of work as well. There are 3 things from this presentation I want you to remember. First of it is Futuclass is available on Steam. So this is a screenshot I took right before this meetup. Next modules are listed here. So those in production study modules will be available soon. And as I said, Steam is just one platform we want to be available on. But we're going to Oculus and SideQuest and other platforms as well. Second thing is, since we had this project with Innove, there will be 5 of those modules we've developed available free for Estonian schools. So if you know any schools, or if you know any have good contacts in Estonian schools who are ready to buy VR headsets, standalone headsets, we can provide Futuclass learning content for 8th grade chemistry for free. And the third thing is we have 2 open positions in Futuclass team. One of it is we're looking for a marketer, and the second one is we're looking for a senior Unity developer. And that's me in real life. Thank you. And if you have any questions, please shoot. YOLO driver. Yeah.
Oh Jesus! Oh my God! I have this name. Hi, it's Peter. Actually, I have no memory anymore why I chose this name here to be viewed. Anyway, long story short, how do you plan to make money?
Good question. Thanks. We're releasing module by module on Steam or like basically all the platforms we can get on. And in the future, we will have features such as analytics, learning management, and other features that are super relevant for teachers. So we will be available for a monthly subscription for schools, but as one-time purchases for homeschoolers.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
And sales to the schools will be then like the sales cycles to the schools is extraordinarily like long and complex procedure. They have all kinds of bureaucracy in place. Have you considered that?
Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons why we shifted the focus from schools to homeschoolers, because there are like 7 stakeholders in schools, and you like have to get the green light from all of them to be able to sell this one school. But we have very good examples from edtech products who have basically dominated the market within a year when their product is ready and covers all the needs. So we hopefully can do the same in the future, and then use the word of mouth and covering like all the needs to go from one school to another.
Thanks.
Yeah. Rein. Go Rein.
Yeah, I think you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Just to clarify, thanks for the talk. Just to clarify, Futuclass is not supposed to replace like learning chemistry in school. It's supposed to supplement it, right?
Yes. Yes is the short answer. Longer answer is that it can help a lot in many ways. One of it is it can make available experiments that wouldn't be in schools and make the learning better in that way. And what we have heard from school leaders a lot is that they're looking for edtech products because they want to standardize some parts of the teaching, because the lack of teachers is a really big problem. And imagine when you have Futuclass and we have like cover all the 8th grade chemistry, for example, and the module is designed by professionals and proved to deliver results.